What's the info drop?
It's giving very much fruity.
The flavor. Let's get this roasted cooking.
Hi, welcome back, Bessies. Do you like this new layout? That's because I'm taking notes on you bitches. And by bitches I mean the producers of our favorite reality television show RuPaul's Best Friend Race. The producers and the editors have played with us too many times, so now, I need to drag them. So today, we're going to be dragging and talking about the worst episodes of Drag Race. I'm looking at challenges, judging, runway, or the edits in general in order to consider them for this list. I hope your favorite episode is safe, Bessie. Now let's get into the drag, and the dragging. Let's start with an easy one to drag. The Rusical in season 13 was one of the worst episodes of Drag Race I've ever seen in my life. The challenge was beyond abysmal, and it wasn't the fault of the queens. They were just trying to work with what they were given. But that Rusical, good god girl. Talk about trying to be relatable with the kids. That was boomer culture at its absolute ugliest. What 60-year-old was allowed to write this? Was it RuPaul herself? Is she trying to get her show cancelled? Do you think we give a fuck about a social media musical number? What is this, the Emoji Movie? Truly nightmare-inducing. Another easy one to talk about is the makeover challenge in season 4. Like, what were they thinking? Did they think that the gays, the foundation of their show, want to tune in to watch a bunch of straight men be homophobic and almost fight the queens? Why are we seeing straight homophobic men be made over, when we could have actual queer representation present? Like yes, it is fun to watch straight men be more open and embrace drag as an art form, but that is what season 10 and Secret Celebrity Drag Race did correctly that this makeover did not. Also, the fact that they had to become pregnant? Truly nasty to watch. Latrice had the only good man and was put in the bottom for it. Sinister, I tell you. I don't mean to drag the Rusicals, but the Farmarisical from season 10 was, questionable. Like half of the queens did not understand the point of the assignment. What were Aquaria, Eureka, Monique, Calorie, and you doing to see Ray Bottoms robbed of the win? But also the Rusical was all over the place. Like, most of the episodes were relying on sex jokes. Okay, we couldn't think of anything more creative, like I'm fine with sex jokes, especially stupid ones, but for 10 minutes straight, I don't know. Also, we need to talk about the runway and how they were all over the place. Best drag? I'm going to pretend I do not see it. I blame the producers. Though, what queen is going to use their best drag on the second runway? But yeah, not my fave. Let's move on to the acting challenges, because they are not safe for my wrath either. The most recent offender was the season 14 acting challenge Daytona Wind. When I watched the episode for the first time and saw the rehearsal and filming for the challenge, I was impressed. I thought it was going to be a cute, funny moment, but when they premiered on the main stage, oh my god, that was beyond stupid. An entire challenge dedicated to a fart joke. I know I just said I like stupid humor, but tell me honestly, did you laugh? Are you going to go back and rewatch the challenge for a 7-minute fart joke? I don't think so. I'm not even really sure how you judge a winner from this. Like yes, they all acted their asses off, but it was ruined by the endless fart jokes and references. Maybe I just don't get it, and the fact that they picked a top 2 for the challenge and dragged the season on even longer, that's how we know that even the producers didn't care about the editing choices they were making. Stop playing in my face like that. Now we need to talk about an episode that is both terrible in terms of its challenge, but also serves as a waste of an episode. That would be All Stars 4, the Sex and the Kitty Girl Acting Challenge. I hope the old writers for some of these challenges got fired, because wow, this is how you kill the vibes of the season. Terrible script, terrible acting direction to the queens, only 2 funny roles in the entire script, and those 2 queens were in the top. Also really questionable editing. Everyone knew that if Latrice wasn't in the top, she would go home, and when we saw her bombing during the filming of the challenge, they should have just cut her there. Please don't waste our time. The only redeeming part was the runway because wow, Monique and Naomi ate, everyone else was meh. The next episode is truly sinister, like what they did in season 11 Drag Archidabra was evil. The fact that anyone from the Mighty Ducks, which had Sugarcane, Nina West, and Brooklyn, was in the bottom and then sent home, was pure evil and I will not stand for it. The entire other team should have been in the bottom. Like, I love those queens, but they sucked, they flopped, boo, go home. When they put Suga in the bottom, ridiculous, pathetic. The editing couldn't even hide the favoritism, but they did the same thing earlier in season 11 to Scarlett and then later to Nina West, so boo to you producers. I hope you didn't sleep well those nights. But yes, the challenge idea was wonderful and the runway theme was, kind of cute. But the fact that they put Suga at the bottom was homophobia to its core and almost makes the episode unwatchable. The first episode of season 13, the pork chop, was also just as evil. The last thing I want to see on my television is drag queens being beaten down, made to feel stupid, and then almost heartbroken is the prospect of going home, which is exactly what this season 13 premiere did. It set up an entitled hierarchy for the rest of the season, between the self-proclaimed winners and losers of the first lip sync, like it became catty and not enjoyable to watch, which is all due to the fault of the premiere. And notice what happened the rest of the season. Almost all of the losers of the first lip sync were sent home before the winners. I hate that, and it all started with such a terrible idea. But also, as viewers, we don't know these queens, so there isn't any surprise or investment in terms of which queens wins and loses, so why do we care? And I'm supposed to feel bad that ratings dropped? Anyway, never do that again. Season 10 truly did have some terrible challenges, and the evil twin challenge was by far the worst. Like, okay, I can see the concept and the theme, have a good twin and an evil twin. However, the way they executed it, awful. Bottom of the barrel. Doesn't it set up specific connotations around good and bad? Like, it just isn't fleshed out. But also, they tried to spin the entire episode into a narrative about mental health and overcoming your demons, especially with the way RuPaul talked to the queens in workroom and offered quote advice unquote that was terrible. Why even speak to the queens if you aren't going to say anything useful? Anyway, Unclear challenge, we're judgy, bad editing, we're throwing tomatoes at this episode. I can't conclude a list like this without the world's worst challenge from season 12, because wow, that really was the worst. First, it basically marks the start of the Aiden and Brita feud, which was a ridiculous part of season 12. I just know Shady Pie was more involved in that edit before she was, of course, edited out of the show, as she should have been. Sorry flop. But then, let's get to the challenge itself. I don't always like episodes where Ross is in charge of playing off and or talking to the queens. It just feels more unnatural and Ross's commentary style conflicts with how the queens perform in my opinion. So he isn't always my favorite when he's actually involved in the challenge. Regardless, the performances were kind of bad. But also, the skits, the queens had literally nothing to work with, and I still don't understand how Shady Piss was awarded a win. She was in a group of 3 people, all of whom were acting the exact same the entire time. How did she do any better than them? Spoiler alert, she didn't. Anyway, Rakim deserved more credit for her part, but it was truly a baffling episode all around. I hope RuPaul lost some money from this episode. So, there you go besties, those were some of the worst episodes from all of Drag Race. Obviously, there are more that weren't included, but that's about all the negativity I can muster. Tell me some of your least favorites in the comments, and maybe in the future I'll make a second part dragging RuPaul within an inch of her wig, or maybe I'll make a list of some of the best episodes. We love to spread positivity. Anyway, have a great day besties.